Lloydy, I'll just ask you, what's the real topic of discussion? Is it Collingwood's dominant victory, or I suppose the capitulation of Essendon?
Well, I think why the Collingwood was so happy after the game was they scored 137 points. So It's been an issue for them. They haven't been able to score all year. So they've had 78 points, 79 points, 87, 55, 39 and 88. So they were really happy with the way they played. And they only had the 5 goals at half-time. So to kick 15 after half-time and the way they moved it was really, really strong. But Lee and I spoke about it before the game. What is Essendon's game plan? Like, they have chopped and changed all year. They beat Melbourne with chipping the ball around. They went faster against the Gold Coast today. They went fast in the first half. Second half, they retreated. So I don't think they have that definable plan, despite that their effort has been much better in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But that's a given. You should expect that from every side that runs out to play AFL footy.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it was sort of a pretty hard-fought game, wasn't it, in the first half? I mean, Collingwood always looked a little bit better, goal or two better, but it's really then just the second half is when, Collingwood got going. I mean, Pendlebury just was magnificent, and Josh and the Daicos has got more involved. They started to use the ball much better, and they just completely overwhelmed Essendon, didn't they? So yeah, with it competitive in the first half, but certainly that second half was just... Sometimes they're just a one-off. I don't think that's going to happen if they play sort of every week after week after week. But on the day, the Collingwood good players, they just got better and better as the day went on.
It's a good point you make, Lee. Like the midfield step up of those champions, and they are champions. Pendlebury's a champion. Nick Daicos is a champion.
Yep.
De Goey's not a champion, but he's a big game player. And Josh Daicos off half-back. Whereas you look at Parrish, no impact in the midfield. Andrew McGrath, he has the odd moment or two, but he's not a midfielder, an A-grade midfielder. Zach Merritt was quiet today. I thought he was quiet, particularly after half-time. And then, unfortunately, they were jumped all over by the Collingwood ruckman.
We'll take your calls. We'll honour the callers as Collingwood just wait outside their race. Orlando joins us on the Nick Theodosi open line. Orlando, what's on your mind?
Hey boys, how are we?
Good, thank you.
I just want to say, I haven't been alive for very long. I'm 18 years of age, right? Some of the greatest threats in society, I think, is war, some viruses, maybe famine. But the greatest threat to society is Ben McKay of the Essendon Football Club. Please and please, please, drop him to the VFL. I don't care. Get rid of his contract. I'd pay him out. Just get rid of him.
All right, Orlando, I think you've made your point. He was brought there.
Not a fan of Ben McKay. I think that's what we can take away.
Brought there
from
for a
that
reason, though,
yeah.
and they needed a good, strong body down back, and Ben McKay provided all of that. But what's the balance sheet or the scorecards, Lloydy, from your point of view, say about Ben McKay?
He doesn't hurt. Like all these backmen these days, like you think of Josh Battle and Barras, Harris Andrews, they mark the footy and then they hurt you and they impact the game. Ben doesn't do that. Like he's getting paid $1 million, but he's nervous with the footy in hand. He's nervous below his knees. He doesn't help you. He doesn't assist you in anything with winning the ball. But what I will say to him though, he gets 62 entries. So they were under threat massively to his defence today.
Congratulations, Josh. A terrific performance, and you broke the 100-point barrier that you've been striving to get to for the last 17 games.
Feels so good. I kept looking up at the scoreboard. I don't often do, but we're kicking lots of goals and just seeing it tick over, and I think we scored 137 points in the end. So unbelievable feeling. I feel like a lot of the boys worked really hard. We've been behind the scenes, trying to find ways to get better, and I think today on the biggest stage, we were able to do that, which was really pleasing.
I need a few words on Scott Pendlebury. He was just unbelievable out there today.
Incredible. He, I felt like early the game was quite hot, and just every time he got the ball, he's so calm. He always knows what he's going to do with it before he gets it, and I thought, there's no words to describe the performance today. It was quite silly what he was doing out there, even regardless of his age. Then when you factor in his age and how many games he's played, it blows your mind. But it's awesome to be out there with him.
It's amazing, Josh. When Oscar Stoone has his stints in the ruck late in the games, he tends to just start things in that centre bounce area.
Lee, how are you?
Good, Josh. How you going?
Yeah, he's a beast, and it's so good. I think he's only played 5 games for us, so his ceiling is so high, and like you said, he kick-starts us in the middle of the ground. We look dangerous. He gets the ball into Nick, Scott or Bowie's hands, and we go from there. So he's been instrumental in centre bounce.
Hey,
Go on, sorry, Lloydy.
Josh, congratulations. I gave you the one vote in the middle. So you were awesome today. I went Pendlebury and Daicos, J Daicos. So you're all sensational. In terms of the first half, we were quite frustrated with some of the turnovers from both sides, but particularly your side, where you didn't quite punish them for the amount of ball you had inside 50.
Appreciate that, Lloydy. Yeah, I felt like you said earlier, it was quite scrappy. The game was quite quick, and you know, we kind of struggled at times to connect. It looked like we're out and probably should have scored, and you know, whether it was a fumble or skill execution was a little bit off. And after half-time, we just spoke about we've got more time than we think. We can, you know, pause for a second, assess our options, and I thought we did that really well. And then in the last quarter, once we made the ground big, that was when the trigger handballs came to play and the run and dash from behind. And you know, I thought it was a really you know, great signs for us today. It's what we've been working towards, and felt so good.
It's just interesting, that one, isn't it, Josh? That every now and again, if you can have a half of footy where you just completely dominate like you did the 15 goal, it just relieves a bit of the pressure when you're just in, you know, fighting hard to win games. Have a really big win every now and again really lifts the troops.
Absolutely. We, you know, I think in offense today we had a big emphasis of working hard. We want to make them run. So when then they've got the ball, you know, they have to slow down. They have to play their chip mark game, and we felt like that suited us. And I think you saw today just some of the efforts in offense, winning contests, and yeah, to be able to put on a score, it puts scoreboard pressure on. You know, that's real out there, and it's a great feeling for us. We've been looking to break that 100 barrier for a while now, so I'm excited to see, you know, what the next fortnight brings.
And did you feel like by getting it in deeper, I think the issue for you guys is you haven't got the out-and-out, you know, power forward, but once you start to get the ball in a lot deeper, and it brought McKay and a few others into the game.
Absolutely. I think, you know, we probably haven't been helping them. Like you said, you know, D-Mac does an unbelievable work for his size, but we probably need to get the ball in quicker so it's lower density, whether it's 1v1, 2v2. In the past, we've been getting it in when it's, you know, 5v4, and it's pretty hard for any forward. So I thought today, you know, we assessed the ground pretty well, and once we saw 1v1, we took it in deep, and they looked super dangerous.
Do you still harbour, like in your own perfect world, would you be inside the midfield yourself for, because I saw you play some amazing games doing that last year, but do you still harbour any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I still work on it behind the scenes, and occasionally, you know, we do a few swaps out there, whether that's with Scott or when Nick gets a bit of attention. You know, we've got a midfield that's going really well at the moment. Our back six is going well, but yeah, it's something that I'm definitely working towards, and even if I get little moments in there, I really enjoy it.
Josh, Tony Leonard here. Just wanted to finish up with, specifically to the midfield makeup, is there a designated amount of time that Jordan De Goey goes in the middle? It just seems to give you another dimension, a power, goal-kicking forward, highly skilled as he is.
Yeah, there definitely would be. I think what's great about our team is we kind of adapt to how the game's going. I feel like you can't plan too far ahead in football, you know. It's the game changes quick, and you know, we use him when we feel like, you know, we probably need a lift in the contest or need someone on the move. So I think him and Bo have been awesome at that this year, and yeah, I think Geordie's building. Obviously the concussion kind of hurt his form, missing a couple of weeks, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing his next month of footy.
To you, your brother, your wonderful dad, mum, everything like that. We love the Daicos family. And I don't know whether you know this, but Peter told me before that collectively you equal the Panem records for fathers, sons or family at the Collingwood Football Club. Next week you'll break it.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's the first time I'm hearing that. That's pretty cool. You know, I think growing up, you know, hearing about what Dad did, and you know, being able to watch his highlights. You know, he's always, you know, my idol growing up, and for now Nick and I to be playing for the club he played for, you know, be putting on the black and white stripes every week, and to be in records like that means the world, because we always just wanted to play, you know, at the top level. So to get to that level means a lot to us.
Well, I'm glad you've only just heard it, because I caught up with your father and he said he'd only just heard it earlier in the day. So well done to you, you Royal Collingwood company there with the Panem family. Enjoy the evening, and thanks to everyone at Collingwood who put on such a magnificent show.
Good talking with you boys. Have a great night.
Kyle, you've just walked out of the team meeting with Brad Scott. Can you tell us a little bit about the message and feedback you've got there?
I think he kind of reiterated, but all us players are just so disappointed in what we did in that second half. I think we weren't playing great footy. Like, we didn't feel like we were hitting our straps in that first half. Obviously a few fumbles, few missed kicks, but that second half was a step back what we've done in the last 2.5 weeks. So very disappointed with the end output.
Now, you had a bunch of young players, big stage as well. How do you as a leader keep spirits high when that margin was getting wider and wider?
Yeah, look, they hung in there, but I mean, there was 9 debutants playing in front of 9 Anzac Day debutants playing in front of 90,000. I mean, you could probably say they were a little bit overawed by the occasion, but just what we've been building over the last 2 weeks, it's just disappointing. It's just a step backwards, and that's not the footy that we want to play. And I think that's the most disappointing part, that we've shown that we can play 4 quarters of really good pressured football, and we just didn't do that today.
Kyle, can you take the Bomber fans who are listening, driving on the way home, into what you're most disappointed in? Is it that you went into your shells and you retreated? Was it the ball movement? Can you explain what you're most disappointed with?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard when you're out there. Scotty didn't mention too much about any of that, but it kind of felt like we couldn't get that offense going. We fumbled. We got beaten around the ball. And obviously they were just so slick with their hands, with their kicks. They cut us open, and their experience showed today. So, it's probably one of those things that we'll look back throughout the week. But right now, just disappointed with our pressure, probably most likely. I think in the last few weeks we've been able really good at coming forward and stopping that handball chain, and this week we couldn't. So, off the top of my head, Lloydy, that's probably it.
Can I ask you too about the game style? Like, I watched the way you won against Melbourne, where there was, you took over like 160 or 150 marks, and then you went really fast against the Suns. Played well, but you played a different brand of football. Has it been altering as the weeks have gone by? Because I'm not seeing something consistent from one week to the next.
Yeah, well, I guess it changes with the opposition. The way they defend, the way they move the ball. So obviously every single week might be a slight tweak, but we don't want to be just kick the ball around and keeping soft kind of footy. We do want to be moving the ball forward, and it looked like tonight, at least when I was playing in the back line, we just couldn't quite get that through that mid-arc. Like, we were able to get it outside of the D50, but we couldn't transition that into our forward 50, and that's what we've done really well over the last 2.5 weeks. And again, just off the top of my head, it's hard to kind of review a game like that straight away, but I think that's what it kind of felt like for me.
Hey, with that cycle, I think everyone in footy lives the cycle of there's an emotional response at the moment, going to be feeling miserable, but you've got to jump into tomorrow and start afresh in the new week. Just be able to actually conquer that challenge.
We've got to have a hard look at ourselves here. Like, we really got to dig deep and own our mistakes, own our areas. That's something that every single player, coaches included, will be doing, and then we'll look to move forward. But you can't just kind of sweep a game like that under the rug. You've got to really learn from it, dive deep into what kind of happened, and then you can kind of look forward to Brisbane and the following weeks.
Brad Scott was really animated. I'm not sure if you saw that. I think it might have been at a three-quarter time break towards the midfield group. 62 to 34 entries, so it made it pretty difficult for the guys in the forward line to get anything happening, because it just ball seemed to live in Collingwood's half.
It's hard to be in a game with those kind of numbers. Obviously I didn't see the conversation with the mids, and I definitely felt when I was playing in the back line there, like, they were getting some pretty good looks, and I thought the backs were really holding up pretty well, and the mids have done an outstanding job the last 2 weeks. They come up against a really good Gold Coast, and that, I kind of thought they put them to the sword a little bit, and maybe just based off those stats, we might have gone backwards there.
What is the plan with your positioning, Kyle, in terms of the last week or two, just going forward?
I wasn't really sure. Obviously, I've been playing that wing half-back role for the last couple of weeks, and by the sounds of it, we just needed a bit of a change. I think Andy went back into the back line, I went forward, so changed our structure around a little bit. But that's the game. I think we have pretty good flex in our team with players that can play multiple roles, and I guess that was my role tonight.
Kyle, genuinely appreciate anyone from a side that's gone under to front up to the media on 3AW, so we do thank you for that. Brighter times ahead. Thank you for joining us this evening.
No worries. Thanks, guys.